All right, let's dive into the wild, high-stakes world of quantum computing. Right at the center of all the buzz, there's this one company, D-Wave Quantum. They're a true pioneer, but depending on who you talk to, they're either the next massive thing or super risky bet. So what's the real story here?
And yeah, that's really the big question, isn't it? Is D-Wave on the verge of changing, well, everything, from logistics to AI? Or is this just another case of the hype getting way ahead of the reality? To even begin to answer that, we've got to understand what makes quantum computing so different.
Okay, so let's get a quick lay of the land. Think about your laptop. It's like a person trying to get through a giant maze by testing every single path one after the other. It's incredibly powerful for sure, but it just gets bogged down by problems that are ridiculously complex. A quantum computer? It's like it can explore all the paths at the exact same time. It's literally built for the kinds of problems that would take a normal computer billions of years to crack. That is the game-changing potential we are talking about.
So let's start with the bold case. The argument that D-Wave is really poised to dominate this whole new frontier. And, this isn't just empty hype. The bulls have some pretty serious numbers to back it all up.
First thing you got to look at is the cash. They've got a war chest of over $836 million. In a field this cutting edge, you're not just building a product, you're literally inventing the future. That takes years and years of super expensive research, and having that kind of cash on hand, it means they have the fuel to keep pushing forward. And they're not just sitting on that money either. They're actually turning it into growth. I mean, sure, the total numbers are still kind of small, but their revenue literally doubled year over year last quarter. That's a huge sign that they're shifting from being just a research lab to a company that's selling its tech and bringing in real money. But here's the thing that really gets my attention. It's not just about the money. People are actually using their systems. Customer usage has just skyrocketed by 314% in the last year alone. To me, that's the most crucial sign of all. It means D-Wave is solving actual real-world problems for paying clients right now.
And that confidence, it goes all the way to the top. The company's CEO, Dr. Alan Baratz, made this really bold claim. He basically said D-Wave is the real deal, implying they're not just a player, they're the only company delivering real quantum solutions today. So what's their secret sauce? Well, it's this unique approach called quantum annealing. So imagine a huge hilly landscape with thousands of valleys, and your job is to find the absolute lowest point. A regular computer, it would have to check every single valley, one by one. Quantum annealing, though, can sort of look at the entire landscape at once and find that lowest point almost instantly. That's what makes it so powerful for things like optimization, finding the best delivery routes or designing brand new drugs. In this specialized approach, it's definitely getting real-world traction. They just signed a $10 million deal with a Fortune 100 company, sold a $20 million system to a major university, and they're working with huge players in aviation and chemicals. Look, these aren't just little research projects. These are major commercial partnerships. With all this momentum, it's really no surprise that Wall Street is feeling bullish. The consensus among the pros, the financial analysts, is just overwhelmingly positive. We're talking 14 out of 15 recommending the stock as a buy. That tells you something, right? The people whose job it is to crunch these numbers for a living see a pretty clear path to success for D-Wave. Okay, but, and this is a big but, it is not all clear skies ahead. To get the full picture, we absolutely have to look at the other side of the coin, the bear case, because there are some really serious risks here that are giving a lot of investors pause. And this table really lays out the core arguments perfectly. The bulls are screaming about that impressive 100% revenue growth. The bears, they're pointing out that the company is still losing money. The bulls see this unique technology leader, while the bears see a niche player whose more general-purpose machine is still totally unproven. But the biggest fight, as you can see in that last row, it's all about the valuation.
Yeah, this quote from the Motley Fool really gets to the heart of it. D-Wave's stock isn't priced like a company that's making a few $1 million in revenue. No way. It's priced for massive, massive future success. So the big question the bears are asking is, has all the good news already been priced in? Has the stock price just gotten way out ahead of the actual business?
And the risks really don't stop there. For one, the company still isn't profitable. To keep the lights on and the research going, they might need to raise more money, which could dilute the value for anyone holding this stock now. Plus, the whole quantum sector is just famously volatile. And maybe the biggest hurdle of all, a lot of experts think we're still maybe a decade away from this technology being widely used in business. That is a very long road.
So, you've got this compelling bull case and this pretty scary bear case.
How in the world will we know who's right? Well, let's look at the key milestones on D-Wave's road ahead. These are the things that will tell us if they're on the right track.
Okay, so here's what the company says is coming up. The first huge test is in 2026. That's when they plan to launch their gate model system. This is a really big deal because it would take their tech beyond just those specialized problems and into more general-purpose quantum computing. After that, you've got to watch for continued adoption by big companies and governments. And the final destination on this map, the Holy Grail, is of course sustained profitability.
So at the end of the day, the story of D-Wave isn't just about cool technology, or the hype, or even what the stock price is doing today. It all boils down to one word: execution. Can this company actually deliver on its super ambitious roadmap and turn all that incredible scientific potential into a real, profitable, world-changing business?
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, Quantum computing holds the promise of solving some of humanity's biggest challenges, from discovering new drugs to fighting climate change. For a pioneer like D-Wave, the risks are obviously huge, but the potential reward? It's just monumental. So I guess the real question for all of us is this a gamble you can afford to ignore?